Welcome into another bonus episode here at Hockey Inside Out. This question, very fascinating. Who was the most underrated Montreal Canadiens player so far this season, guys?
Well, I think there's a number of guys, but I'm going to have to lean towards two of them. Of course, they're defensemen, and Justin Barron and Jordan Harris as two guys that are doing a great job. I mean, the expectations when these guys arrived was a big question mark on how they were going to handle themselves. And if you look back from when they first started their play at the NHL level, there were some errors and some problem areas that they were having, but look at what they're doing now as far as their composure and their confidence with the puck. I mean, I always like to judge defensemen on, their ability to make good decisions with the puck and, play well defensively and not get caught. And, these guys have the intelligence to make the difference back there. And if you look at their play from as of late, they're just continuing going on the right curve, if you will, to become really good players. And while the future is very, very bright for these two young guys, so these guys deserve a lot of credit. And they've been given the opportunity through injuries, and they've responded in such a positive way that their game is improving each and every game.
Yeah, I think Harris and Barron are great picks. I'm going to go with another defenseman, Jonathan Kovacevic. He just continually kind of gets forgotten among the crop of rookies that the Canadiens have here. Maybe partially because he was a waiver pickup, maybe because he's a little bit older than guys like Harris and Barron. But he has been just incredibly stable. He's been a stabilizing force on that back end, which is, frankly, needed it. There have been times where the veterans have struggled. There have been times where the rookies have struggled. And through thick and thin, through healthy scratches that he probably didn't deserve, Kovacevic has just stepped in every time and done the same thing. He's not a high-end scoring guy, but he gets good chances. And one thing that continues to stick out to me about him is when he makes a mistake, he sticks with the play and makes up for it almost every single time. It's just something that's special about him specifically. He's able to stick with plays and not give up. And I love that about him. Underrated physicality, decent puck mover. To me, he looks like a guy that if you have him on your third pair long-term, that's like a championship quality third pair guy. I really like his game.
Well, I had two defensemen on my list also, Rick. At number 2 was Kovacevic. Just such a smart guy, plays the game so smart. Plus minus, one of those stats you take with a grain of salt. I know, Andrew, your analytics people don't really put much into it, but he's +7. He's the best plus minus on the team. He's just a smart hockey player, and what a waiver pickup by Kent Hughes to get a guy like that for nothing. And he's enjoying playing in Montreal. He's liked in the room. He sits beside Arbor Jacki in the locker room when Jacki is healthy, and they're like best buddies. It's hilarious listening to them converse back and forth between each other, different personalities of both Hamilton background. But number 1 on my list is David Savard. I think he has played a huge role on this team this season as a mentor for Caden Goulet to start. Now Jordan Harris is playing with him, a young sort of defenseman who likes to skate and move the puck. David Savard, what a partner to have. And it reminds me, Rick, of you when you played with Peter Svoboda. It's sort of that veteran stay-at-home type of defenseman like Rick, blocks shots, although David Savard falls to the ice more than Rick likes. but Savard's just been I think he's just been I just think he's been I think he's played the best hockey of his NHL career this year. I think he's been really good mentor for the players. He's like a father figure. He's like a Grizzly Adams type of guy. He's a big bear of a man and really nice man when you speak to him. But I think his performance this season has been underrated. I think he's played a really big role, especially with 4 and sometimes 5 rookies in the lineup. He's been really solid back there.
I think what you can tell about David Savard or how good of a season he's had is think of the discourse around David Savard last year. People just hated the guy, and I don't think a lot of it was deserved. He was put in a tough situation on a team that was imploding in every way possible. But this year, I don't hear a bad word about Savard from anyone. And maybe there's some out there who I'm not seeing, but I think he's warmed up, like the fan base is warmed up to him because of the sacrifices that he makes on a daily basis, the leadership that he shows for that young defense core. it's been a great season for David
I
Savard.
think the defensive system that Dominic Ducharme used did not suit David Savard. He's not the fastest guy. I mean,
Who did it suit?
he doesn't get from point A to point B very quickly, but he knows how to position himself. That's one of the reasons he blocks so many shots. He's just so good. You watch recently, the Canes have had a lot of 5-against-3 when they're shorthanded, and he gets in the way. He just constantly, you see guys get a path to shoot, and he's there, and he's not afraid to block shots. He plays fearlessly. And as I said, Marty Simon's talked a lot about, I just want good people in the locker room, and he's a really good person, and it's really nice to see a guy come back home to Quebec, where he grew up, bringing his family back home with all the pressure and that comes with it. He mentioned after block, it's a different pressure than what Jonathan Drouin would face because he's not an offensive guy. He's not expected to produce points, but to me, he's been the most underrated player on the team this season.
And I think people have to realize.
I'm surprised, guys. No forwards, like no one prominent. Go ahead, Rick.
No, I was just going to say that, people have to realize that when he's out of the lineup, that's when he's noticeably missed. And, just the fact that he does a lot of the little things and the grunt work and blocking of shots. And you take that out of your lineup, and it's missed. And, I don't disagree with you guys as far as, what kind of job he's done to keep things together back there and really be an added bonus for all those young guys that are trying to figure out how to play.
Yeah, their PK was brutal when he was out of the lineup.
Well, I was going to say, I know you guys mentioned primarily defense, but I'll give you one. Samuel Montembeault. You think about where he was last year to where he is this year, no one would have thought he would do what he's doing so far, and I think he's been very underrated for what he's brought to the team. So that's my pick when it comes to Montreal Canadiens players who've been underrated this season. So we'll find out how this plays off this team moving forward here, and if there'll be more underrated players down the road. That will do it for this episode of Hockey Inside Out. Don't forget to submit your questions and comments. We look forward to conversing about that on a future episode. And don't forget to like and subscribe our YouTube page for Hockey Inside Out, and sign up for the newsletter on MontrealGazette.com/newsletters. And for full episodes and bonus content, head on by Hockey Inside Out and check out the full library of stuff that we have from all of us moving forward. On behalf of Rick, Stu, and Andrew, we wish you a great week. We'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.
Yeah!